Tony had just made $500 million in the stock market, but he insisted on telling his girlfriend he went bankrupt. As soon as his girlfriend heard Tony had lost everything, she immediately said she wanted to break up with him. Seeing this, Tony kept acting. He claimed he would definitely make a comeback. Then Tony picked up his phone and started calling friends and family, but as soon as they heard he wanted to borrow money, they all made excuses and hung up one by one after calling around. And getting ignored by everyone, his girlfriend mocked Tony for being delusional. She told him to seriously reflect on whether there was something wrong with his character. After that, she turned around ready to leave, but as soon as she opened the door, she saw the school beauty from Tony's student days standing outside. She had heard about Tony's so-called bankruptcy and came to help with her life savings. Tony's girlfriend saw this and immediately suspected something between them. But Tony had already seen through her true nature and couldn't be bothered to explain. He directly kicked his ex-girlfriend out of the house after she left. Tony shyly declined the school beauty's offer, but then she suddenly brought up something. From 2 years ago, after that night, she gave birth to a pair of twins. Tony was shocked, and memories came flooding back. He realized he actually had children out there, so he followed the school beauty back home when he saw the sweet little kids. Tony was filled with guilt. But the school beauty said she should be the one thanking Tony for giving her the chance to become a mother. Then Tony went to the living room. He opened his account to check his balance and confirmed he really had $500 million in assets. He immediately decided to repay all the friends he tried borrowing from and planned to buy a new house for himself and the school beauty to improve their living conditions. It turned out 3 days earlier he had received a mysterious phone call. The caller claimed to be his future self. At first, Tony thought it was a scam, but the caller accurately predicted a crash in the stock market. That's when Tony realized he had a chance to get rich, so he went all in on gold futures with everything he had, and just like that, Tony's net worth skyrocketed. He became a billionaire after settling everything. Tony happily posted on social media. At the same time, at a class reunion, Tony's old rival was laughing about his bankruptcy and even said he'd steal Tony's girlfriend, claiming he'd be the real winner. Hearing this, Tony's friend got angry. He stood up and said he just saw Tony's post and that Tony now had $500 million plus the $50,000 he lent Tony a few days ago. Tony had already paid him back $200,000. Everyone took out their phones to verify. Seeing this, Tony's rival was filled with regret. If only he had lent Tony money, even just $50,000, he could have bought a luxury car with the returns. Meanwhile, Tony was out having a fancy meal with the school beauty. She thought he had just gone through hard times and didn't want to spend money in such a high-end place, but Tony smiled and said he'd send her some pocket money. When the school beauty saw he had $10 million, she excitedly asked what happened. Tony explained his stocks had recently multiplied several times, and now he had more money than he could ever spend. The school beauty praised him as a stock market genius. Then Tony said he wanted to buy a new car and asked if she had any recommendations. She advised him not to waste money, but Tony still went to the dealership. After all, he was now worth hundreds of millions. He waved his hand and bought a Rolls-Royce worth $10 million. But Tony had no idea his gold-digging ex-girlfriend happened to see it all. When she realized